rather than focusing on, I'm not going to get into the, who called top, who called bottom and all that stuff. It's kind of like anyone can trade this side of the chart. I can look at this chart right here and I could say, oh, you should have bought here, could have bought here. You shouldn't have sold here. You should have sold here at the 200 SMA top. That's real easy for everyone to say. And I feel like the only way you stand out is if you brag about things like that. And it's just, I can't really be myself. It almost feels like I have to force it. This takes up time out of my day. I don't gain anything from it. I'm just trying to help you. So I'd rather focus on how can you trade the part of the chart that's not showing yet. ES, 3 days, the last 5 minutes. Disregard the candles, VWAP, all your indicators, right? Scratch all the indicators. Just look at the profile. Let's just look at how shares have traded. Okay, this was our short box. Disregard that. Disregard this line. This is JPM where they're short. What does our profile say? We have a D. D profile is kind of like a distribution or an accumulation, right? But it's compression of shares. It's an agreement on price at that point in time. So following a D, you should expect either a P, okay, or a B. So what happens in a P? Well, that's a sharp move up with a point of control high. Mainly a lot of shares traded at the high. This is like a move down with distribution at the lows. Okay. Now you also have another one. You have your D, your P, your B, and there's one more. And that's this. Okay. So that's your capital B. What happens there? That's when you have a large amount traded here, with an imbalance here. And you're targeting the imbalance. Right? So let's look at this again. What do we have here? A D. I'm gonna let you work one ahead of me. A D. It was a B with a decent amount of shares traded there. So what are we looking for? We're looking for price to come back and fill in to at least the point of control. What did it do? Boom, just that. Okay, so following a B, now we have a P. Now what do we have? See how it's thin here, and a decent amount right at the dead center. See, this is such a janky, this is like some sideways sunglasses shit. But you see what I'm getting at? Like I'm just, so where would we target for price to come back to? Right here, look at the imbalances. Okay, so does it make sense why when you have a move lower, right, you break below this point of control, you have a move lower. Now these point of controls are kind of lined up, and then this distributes when this was distributing as well. So what does that tell you? Well, look at the profile before. Where did you leave behind? Well, this is an area, but this is your major area. So your price is probably going to come up and just make sure. So you have a drop in price, a rebid, and a re-offer. Okay, and that's that. That's what happened. Now, when we did that, though, what did we leave behind? The same exact thing. Okay, so that's why I'm saying, because we didn't break structure, and we did have a change of delivery down, but we also had a flattening action with a change of delivery up. Let me get all this junk off the screen. This is why I'm kind of where I'm at. Okay, because we fill this out. Then what? We're gonna need to fill this out. Okay, what happens first? I don't know. I don't know what happens first. But based on this action and price acceptance at this level, I am expecting to come back here and we probably rebid up. We rebid up, we break through here, we fill in this, and then we see what happens at 40.30. And the action at that level, we would look at this upper value area and we would say, okay, are we breaking this? Right? So if I buy this dip here and I get long and we get up here, and I'm going to give it at least a 15-minute candle, because it could hit, drive, let's say push down a little bit, but then get rebid up. Now, if you're going up, what are you doing? We're doing what we just talked about. You are targeting buy side liquidity and you are running stops like a heat-seeking missile. So you run this. What does this also do? This breaks the great trend line and all these stops, and then you run, and then you're probably pushing 41.50. Boom. Depending on your ad, you might not even ever see a drawdown. You could make, I mean, you could make a lot of money on the move, right? But don't be a greedy fuck. Take some profits off along the way. All right. And that leads me to my next thing. I made a mistake the other day on Friday. So tell me, how does one call this action, call this action, this action, and then this action? So I did that on YouTube for you guys. Not trying to flex, but I'm saying I called it and I still didn't make as much money as I should have. Why? I'll tell you why. Let's go down into the 3-minute chart. Okay. So, right before the market opened, right at 9. Okay, so when a move like this happens, right here at 9, I'm looking to buy that low and run the high. So what I did was I bought right here at 39.17. I got filled. I sold right here. I sold. I didn't try to get back in. That was my trade. You know, still made a couple $100. Cool. No big deal. This dive down happened. And we had our first 3-minute candle, and it pierced and it came down. And where did it go to? It came right to here. It didn't quite run this low. So then I was like, we should run that low, right? But I'm thinking about that volume profile of the other day. I said, we're really just gonna leave that? So it comes back, and I added right around here again. It was like 39.17 again, or it's 39.18. It was very close to my prior entry. So I had this little spring action, right? And I took it, went long. What was I targeting? I was targeting this high. So I ended up selling here. Okay. Price came back down. I bought right here. So I'm on a roll, right? Bought a low, sold near a high, bought a low, sold near a high, bought a low. I'm doing good. But we're going to get to the point where I messed up. All right. So I was targeting this high. This drawdown happened here. I didn't sell. Leg up, leg up, leg up. Kind of a euphoric push. I sold right here. This volume profile was still being created, so don't let that confuse you. That was not part of my trade. But I sold a little early. We pushed. It was a euphoric high. This is what we call a hand transfer here, when you get like kind of 2 wicks that touch right at the very top. So I shorted right here. This is where I fucked up. Okay, because I shorted here, and what was I looking for? A return to this level. And I mean, and I can draw it out, and it just makes me mad. Right? Return to that level. So what happened? Price dropped. I'm green, right? Because this is futures. I'm green. And as it was dropping, I know that I'm fighting trend. So I know that it's going to take this high out at some point, but I think it's going to fill in this before it takes out the high. So I start bringing my stop down. I bring it down to here. This move wipes me out. So then I'm like, shit. Right? I was telling Discord, like, you know, I'm kind of glad I got out because I didn't even like the fact that I was holding it anyways. It made me just feel like dirty, right? Because I know price is going to continue pushing up. So, but I got stopped out, and it messed me up for a bit, because what did I plan on doing? Reversing my position here. Close my short, buy, go long. Didn't happen. Instead, I got stopped, came down, never even filled on the bid. Boom, would have been a perfect entry, and I wouldn't have held this whole move. Like, wow, we pushed 39.90, but I definitely would have sold based on profile right at this point of control. So 39.67. Anyways, that's how you kind of fumble the bag, right? Even if you have your own trading plan. So I'm hoping there's a lesson, you know, somewhere in all of this noise, you know, and you know, there's not a ton of viewers on this channel. So I appreciate the ones who do watch and enjoy it. And hopefully, especially if you're able to trade it and make money off of it. If you want to sub, you can. If not, it's cool. I get it. Okay, and yes, profile might be, it might come after the fact of price moving there, right? Because the profile is not going to fill out if price doesn't move there. I could literally tell you to just do this. Just buy the imbalances in the profile. See where price is being accepted. All right, cool. Point of control's holding, right? I got a tight upper and lower value area. That's good. That's good contraction. Am I going to get another test off the profile right here? Boom. Yes. Wick. Don't operate on a small time frame. Operate on like a 15-minute. What's price doing on a 15-minute? Because this right here is just trying to knock out longs, right? Purge these. These are like little sweeps, little liquidity sweeps. People who had their stops here, right? And if you're buying on a day like this, you're going to put your stop near that low, or maybe you would put your buy near the low and you would have like a looser stop a little down under, right? That way these little sweeps don't get you. Okay. And you always get a second chance. So you could just say, huh, that's weird. We had a day of contraction. I bet there is an imbalance in the profile from the prior day or 2 days prior, right? And we're going to target that area and we're going to go to it. But before I buy and like try to catch a knife, let me get confirmation of a break of structure. Okay, we've talked about that on this channel. Here's your structure. That's a high, that's a high. Here's an imbalance. Okay, if I run the prior day's high and I buy this breakout, you're an idiot, right? You buy the pullback. So when I say you get a chance, look at the high here and here. Okay, we broke those areas. What happened here? Oh wow, look where the perfect entry, the high confirmation entry was to go long. The same spots. Okay? So people can shit on this all they want, or TPO or depth of market or whatever, but it doesn't matter. You can use this as a tool when making decisions to make money, and there's always going to be a gamble when it comes down to it. And anyone who acts like they've figured it all out and they have the edge, right? They have the edge. They are never in drawdown, always making money. They're a fucking liar.